All right, Miss Minard, Techno licks off no man. Let's get into it. All right. So, we have what Just Reason on Wednesdays. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Hello.
So last week we had a nice reasoning about all kinds of topics. And as soon as we have our reason and we have our after reason where we just talk amongst ourselves. And as soon as we get off the phone, as soon as we get off the meeting here, you just go on social media, and there was all these posts about, cancel Major Hype, and we're like, what? What's going on? So, for those who do not know, Major Hype, the Caribbean comedian, very popular. He does all these different Caribbean accents. You can't even tell where the man come from. And he's been very popular now for several years. And, so, and going and look at it now, his ex-wife, girlfriend, or what have you.
Ex-fiance, because you like to be in facts. So let's not Let's be accurate.
All right, so before she's fiance, wasn't she a girlfriend, or she just start off as fiance? All right, so I'm correct, ma'am. Anyway, so she did a live, an Instagram live last week where she was talking about how basically that she has been abused physically, mentally, sexually by Major Hype. And I watched the whole thing, and it sounded awful. And so everybody immediately jumped to conclusions that hey, whatever has been said is 100% factual. So I'm like, man, this don't look good. And better say something. And so a couple of days went by. So I thought she did that Wednesday. So by Friday afternoon. In this social media era, that's just a long time because, and in that time period, within a few hours of this coming out, his followers went from 1.2 million to 1.1 million. That's significant in such a short period of time. So people assumed that it was true, point blank. So Friday, when he did his live, in addition to saying a bunch of things I don't think he should have said, but he flat out denied the accusation.
He did not flat out.
He did.
He danced around it. He danced around it.
Ma'am. No, he did flat out deny it.
But let's backtrack a little bit because between that time frame, there was a leak on a sex tape with what's the young lady's name? Kirby. Yeah, there was a leak of a sex tape. So with that, Kirby went on another live and addressed that situation as well. So it was two videos from her, and then on Friday is when Major Hype came in and said his piece.
Right. So, one thing that I heard him say from his own mouth was, I did not abuse Kirby. Right? He said he did not do it. Now, again, so now in addition to all the other things he said, what you have is one person saying he did it, one person saying I did not do it, with no conclusive proof one way or the other that is the case. So I'm about to stop talking here in 1 second. I'm just going to throw out a question. So we'll start off with you. Did people jump to conclusions too fast in this? I'll start with that, and then you can take it in any direction that you want.
Maybe yes to answer your question. But let me backtrack one thing. Because y'all have to realize words have power. The context in which words are used has power, and you can't just say that he said something and that's not what he said. He did not come out and say, I did not abuse Kirby. He came out and said, She's saying that I abused her. She's the one that abused me. She's the one that was abusing me. There's a difference in someone coming out and saying, no, I did not abuse that person, and them dancing around it and saying they abused me. All he did was deflect.
So what about the part about she abused me? Is that relevant?
The point is, he never came out and said, I never abused her.
Cool. All right. So with that said, is that relevant if he said she abused me? Is that relevant?
Yes, it's relevant.
Okay. So with that said, and you, from a law enforcement standpoint, so what I believe is that it was a toxic relationship where they physically engage with each other on many occasions.
I agree.
That's what I believe. That's what I think. So in such a case, and you can answer from a law enforcement standpoint, if, as he described, the thing is same happening, send kits where they kick off about something and she punched him in his face. That's what he said, right? So if his reaction to that, and we don't know what happened after that, but he said she came and she punched him in his face. At that point, if he were to get up and punch her back, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's going to leave more for Mark.
Right.
What happens in that case? Is that domestic violence? Is that just assault on both of their parts? What is that classified as?
Of course.
You understand what I'm asking?
I understand what you're asking.
Yeah.
It's still domestic violence on both parties. But if there's not a third party to say, yes, this is what I observed, and it becomes his word against hers, then we're going to look at the evidence, which is going to be the bruising. If she doesn't have any, or if she has bruises and he doesn't, then of course he's the one that's going to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make it right. Does it make it right? No, it doesn't make it right.
Right. So what do you believe? Do you believe he's just straight up abuser? He's just beating this woman mercilessly all the time? Or do you believe that they had physical fights?
I believe that it was a very toxic relationship. I believe that it should have ended way, way, way long ago. I believe that, yes, he was a very jealous person. And we've heard this from many sources that, yes, Majah Hype is a very jealous person. Even when you're not in a relationship, y'all are just talking, he's very possessive. Oh, don't talk to nobody else. Like, many people have came out and said that about him. So do I think that it got to his head that he has a pretty girl on his arm and she can't talk to anybody else? Yeah. I think that he wanted total control over her. I totally believe that it got out of control and that he was abusive. Yes, I do believe that.
Right. So, all right. So all those things may be true. Total control, jealous, all that. Those things aren't crime. Really, the only part of this that I care about is, was he abusive to her? Was he abusive
to her? And now part two, is he the one leaking all of these sex videos? Which is also a crime.
But do we know that to be the case?
But now you have two. Now you have two charges. So
Right. So you know what? What I think should happen, take that shit to court. Because it is, I think a bunch of people run to one side and they believe what they believe and they're not backing off it. Mm-hmm. And people jump to the other side and they believe what they believe. Argue that shit in court, under the penalty of perjury, penalty of, prison time for lying under oath, and take it from there. Because, at the end of the day, it is just her word against his right now. And both putting out little pieces of evidence that is this and it's that.
Right.
But we don't really know. So I think until it goes to court, it's just going to,
Before it could even get to court, it has to be investigated. So police have to get involved first. You don't just go to court and say, hey, judge, here's my evidence.
Right. So Exactly. But you know what? So it takes somebody going to the police and saying I was physically abused. Somebody, you know, say I was defamation of character. I didn't do that. It's going to have to go there. You know what I mean? Or we the people just believe what they believe and we just move right on.
Well, defamation of character is a civil suit, and charges about abuse and assault and revenge porn is criminal. So again, you have two separate cases.
But sure, but either way, it would require a court case, whether civil or criminal. And if you lie in either, then you get in more trouble. So that, you know, especially you're quiet there. What you say? You know, you know business.
No, and I really that, you know, me have a whole heap of question all about it, right?
Ask them. From police have the answer.
From me I hear from the two of them, a whole heap of thumping going all about, right? Mm-hmm. But my question is, right? She said in the video that the video where Majah Hype released, I want a whole video for a long time. My first question to her is, how come you there with that guy and you have a video from way back when you did have sex with that guy? Why you still have that in your camera? Why do you still have that in your camera?
So,
on your phone.
Listen, I am a collector of fine valuables, and I have.
So no, but let me ask you a question. No, but you are engaged to a new man. Are you going to keep a sex video of you and the previous man from way back then in your phone?
Hey, that's before my time.
Right? So listen. According to her, one, their relationship was rocky. They was off and on, okay? Number two, she's saying that it wasn't a video that she just had on her phone, that during one of their breakups, she started back talking to the other guy, and the guy was like, man, I sure do miss you. Remember this night? And sent her the video back, like, remember this night? That has happened.
But guess what? When they got back together. No, but
so it was in the cloud.
Right, but when they got back together, why is it that she kept the video again? You delete that. I mean,
it was in the cloud, especially in the air.
The cloud, it don't count. It's in the cloud.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and you know,
but it's not a crime to have that on your phone.
No, I'm not disputing that.
It's not a crime. And
he's not talking crime.
It's not a basis for her to get her butt whooped either.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Y'all have to stay focused. Y'all have to stay focused.
We're having a conversation.
All these extra details for what reason?
No,
for what reason?
You
all right, go on. You
have to look at the perspective where the arguments come in.
Okay.
Well, because all we know is a bunch of people get thumped. We don't know who started, and we're trying to figure out why this thumping starts, right? And it could be that, because I don't know why she mentioned it. Apparently, it is important. And secondly, you know, she's saying that there's a lot of videos there that they're old, and he took her phone away, and he has access to all of that. Mm-hmm. Which leads me to think that she's done this several times, right?
And what's wrong with that? She's a grown woman, and it's her.
I understand that.
Nothing.
I understand that.
Nothing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But you know,
there's obviously a double standard here, where men can go out and sleep with whoever they want, collect all the vagina pictures that they want, and no one judges them. But as soon as this woman partakes in sexual activity as an adult, she's nailed to the cross, and that's not right.
No decent woman.
So look here. So nobody.
No, hold on. Wait. No decent woman would what?
Would have their man have a detailed collection of women or trophies that they have on their phone. Extensive pictures of vagina all around the place. No woman would want their man to do that.
Extensive.
None.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but there's no real woman that would want their man to have a collection of.
Speaking of double standard, I have a question for y'all. Would we be so up in arms if Major Hype came out first with his video and said, "Look here, I've been in an abusive relationship with this woman. She's been whooping my ass for 2 years."
Yeah. Yes.
No, of course we would still be up in arms because
no. Police, you take that one first. Because that is something I wanted to ask. You know,
no, we would not be up in arms. It would have been a big joke. He would have been looked at
exactly. So
swept underneath the rug. It would not. Have
so now that you acknowledge that double standard,
yeah,
is it possible again, like what he said in his video? Kirby is a very abusive woman. That's what he said, right? And then he described at least one incident where she abused him. So the thing is, people have just completely discounted that, like him didn't even say it. But what if that is the 100% truth? Like she is very abusive. She come out, and so and maybe on occasion swing back. But what if she is the abuser? Can you fathom that? And have you considered?
I can definitely fathom that. I know.
But it doesn't come across in most people's. The people who are the most adamant, like, oh, cancel maybe is done. They don't consider the fact they don't consider his view on that, hey, I'm being abused. People don't take it seriously.
Right.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. And I want to say the tape. We can't understand. Me now condone.
See what now? See what tape.
But the kind of backers when I see she run on the video, I would be upset too. Right? Because that would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Well, hold on. You have to look at the time frame though. Did he been know about these videos and about all these different men? Or is he now finding out as we are finding out since he claims he's not the one that leaked it? So if that's the case, hold on. If the case is that the video came after the licks, then it still doesn't add up that he was beating her butt with no cause.
Who said he was beating her, Desiree? You're concluding that.
If he was beating her,
thank you
it
for
was
the
without cause because he's just now finding out about the videos as we're finding out about the video.
Right. I mean, there is no valid cause to me. Right? I mean, everybody keep your hands to your damn self. And when you touch somebody, man or woman, whatever happens in response happens. Who hit who first and what going? I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, keep your hands to your damn self. That's the bottom line. But enough about them. As passionate as many people are about either side, I think we just don't know.